Today we will cover another important concept. So far we've done 4 videos, and this 5th one is about creating connectors. Let's dive right in, starting with the connectors part. First, we'll retrieve the details of what we previously created. We have 2 services running, VernMQ and MongoDB. Let's click on the VernMQ service to gather all the necessary information. We need the private DNS, which we will copy into a notepad. Next, we'll copy the password and note that the service is running over port 1883. Finally, we'll take note of the username, which is root. Once we have all the necessary information, we'll navigate to the data connector section. Here, we'll search for MQTT connectors and click Add New. We'll name this connector Demo MQTT Connector. The connector type is source, so we'll leave it as is. In the Bootstrap section, we'll enter TCP, since it's a raw MQTT connection. We'll then copy the private DNS and paste it into the Bootstrap server field, adding the port number after a colon. In the username section, we'll enter root, then paste the password. Next, we'll test the connection, and if successful, we'll proceed. In the previous video, we created a test topic, which we'll use here. We'll go to the Manage Services section and find the Node-RED instance that emulates a temperature sensor. This instance is already running, and from it we'll get the topic where the system is sending data. After clicking on the topic, we'll input the credentials and wait for the page to load. Here, we'll see the dummy device and the data packet being published. We'll copy the topic information and return to our connector configuration page, where we'll paste the topic name in the appropriate section. To examine the data being published, we have connected a debug node to our flow. We'll click the Copy Value button, which copies the payload data. Then, we'll switch back to the Connector Configuration tab, click the plus icon labeled Add Schema, and paste the data packet. This is the JSON schema generated by the simulator, as shown in the previous video. For creating an MQTT connector, we need the broker information, credentials, the topic, and the data reported on that topic. We'll click the Generate Schema button, and once the schema is generated successfully, we'll save it. Finally, we'll test the connection and save the connector settings. This is how we create an MQTT source connector. Now that we've completed this step, the data is flowing through this particular simulator and into the VernMQ broker we created. If we open the node settings, we'll see the same connection string. Now, the data from this simulator can reach the Flex portal via this connector. How we view this data will be covered in the next video. For now, let's create the second connector, the database connector. We'll go back to the Manage Services section and search for MongoDB. We'll copy the private DNS and port number, which is 27017. The login user is root, and we'll also copy the password. We'll switch back to the connector section, click Add New, and name the connector Demo MongoDB Connector. The connector type will be sync because we need to save this data. We'll select the instance from the marketplace, which will show up automatically since we launched the database in previous videos. If you recall, the database name was Acme Demo, and the username was Demo. We'll test the connection, and if successful, save it. This is how you create connectors for both services that we launched in previous videos. We can now see the connectors in the Data Connectors tab. The MQTT and MongoDB connectors are active and capable of ingesting and transferring data from the MQTT broker and the database, respectively. This concludes our session on creating connectors from various sources on LINCConnect. Thanks for watching.